Hey, how you doing? Duff here. It's a Saturday riding video. I'll probably ride tomorrow as well, but I have some time today. Cindy actually has some girlfriends of hers staying at the house this weekend, so yeah, I'm kind of free to go get lost while they go do their girl thing, so it's okay for me. I'm at Naples Collier Regional Park, North Collier Regional Park, and the only vehicle I have with me is the Mten3, a device I have not ridden for quite a while, despite it being probably the most fun thing that I own. So, well, maybe next to the one wheel. So I'm going to get out there and see if I can still go backwards and just see how rusty my skills have gotten. Probably pretty rusty. So let's get going. Oh, you want another hint as far as the next vehicle that Cindy and I are going to be getting? Might not make much sense now, but yeah, that is a hint. I'm not a big fan of like doing backwards riding and other silliness while I'm holding coffee, so we'll just do some conventional riding to get things started. Pretty slow day for me in the chore front. I actually don't plan to mow the grass this week. I'm going to give myself a break. I did do the conventional weeding thing this morning, and then I had to replace the bushings on my front tractor tires with bearings for better performance, so I did that and I paid my bills. But yeah, other than that, I think that's going to be it for the work for me this weekend, I hope. So it's a little bit later in the afternoon. It's probably 3:30 at least, so you don't have the normal crowd. Usually, you know, the soccer and baseball, softball crowd, they're here early in the morning, so park is relatively empty, which is just fine by me. I don't think I've mentioned on video that Cindy's trailer is for sale. Her trailer that we got less than a year ago. She's trying to sell it. With the way that our life's going, it just doesn't make sense for her to be making payments on something like that. So we're trying to sell it. We're going to wind up losing money for sure, but it's better than, you know, paying on something for 15 years or however long the loan is. So yeah, if you know someone looking for a like new Coleman ultralight camper, it's a 26 footer, very, very nice, send them our direction. Also a quick reminder that tomorrow, Sunday, which is October 13th, I think, not sure, I think it's October 13th, but at 8 o'clock Eastern, Marty and I will be having our next EUC live stream on my YouTube channel. And like I mentioned in my last video, I believe we have our audio difficulties worked out, so we don't have to spend the first 15 minutes of the broadcast fighting with audio and then have it still sound like shit. So yeah, should be better this time. If there's anything that you would like us to talk about on the show, address, have a question, a comment, whatever, leave it in the comments below, and I'll make note of it and bring it up during the show. So yeah, feel free to do that. The AstroTurf project is continuing here, and I have no idea what all those bags are. They almost look like bags of sand. Not sure what they use them for. I wonder if those are those little like black bags of those little black rubber balls or pellets that you see on these turf fields nowadays. I guess they're designed to give the field more bounce, and also to make it less likely that a spike or a shoe would get stuck in the grass or in the fake grass. But I'm wondering if that's what it is, because I've walked on other fields down here, football fields, and they just have millions of these little black rubber balls in them. All right, I'll try a little bit while holding coffee. Still not my favorite thing to do. It's funny, I just passed a lady on the path and I instinctively said good morning, even though it's 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm just so used to doing this in the morning, I guess. Once again this year, we're hoping to ride the EUCs or some device around Victoria Park for Halloween. Look out the Halloween decorations while riding. It's always a good time, so maybe in a week or two. Latest health status update. Not much to report, no new testing. I can report that I was considering going running Friday night when I got home, and I didn't, because I felt wiped out. I felt tired. So it seems like the lethargy or fatigue or whatever you want to call it, it's kind of cyclical, and it seemed like it was on an upswing last night. So I thought better of it and said, all it's going to do is piss me off and make me feel worse. So I just avoided it. At the gym, I have been cutting back my intensity. I'm not doing as heavy of lifts, and I'm actually, most days I'm trying to work in 15 minutes of cardio every day, which I never used to do before. So helped me drop a couple pounds, which I always feel better when I'm lighter. So I'm going to try that for a little while and see what happens. Mten3 is so different as far as just the way that you want to ride it. I mean, I really have next to no desire to try to ride this thing fast whatsoever. I'd say almost all my riding on this thing is like 10 miles an hour or less, which is very different than all my other EUCs, where I'm more times than not looking for for significant speed. And the Mten3, it's just, I don't know, it's just a fun little wheel to just go slow on. Do slow maneuvers, backwards, tight turns. Like, I don't think I have another electric unicycle that I could do a tight turn like inside of this space. And that actually wasn't a good one because I'm rusty. Let me try that again. I have a little extra space here. All right, a little better. But anyways, I don't have anything else that can handle tight spaces like an Mten3. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a great little wheel. I'm kind of surprised at the way Chinese companies like to knock each other off normally, that no one has, like KingSong or Inmotion, or nobody that I know of has attempted to make a wheel similar to this dimension-wise and spec-wise. Because, yeah, I'd love to have a KingSong quality with a little wheel like this. I can definitely tell I'm rusty. My Mten3 EUC skills are not what they had been at some point. Need to practice. So did you guys see that Marty, looked like Marty got one of those Insta360 cameras and a long selfie stick, similar to what Eddie Moy has and some other EUC guys I've seen have posted them. And yeah, it looks cool. For whatever reason, I don't feel a burning desire to get something like that. Although it is a cool effect, but I don't know. I've always been the type of person that I can only take so much of nothing but just ride footage, with no interaction with the rider. That just bores me after a while. So I don't think I'll be investing in something like that, but it is cool for sure. So as I mentioned 2 weeks ago when I was here, the water park is officially closed. As you can see, no activity. It's kind of funny though, because I mean today it's almost 90 degrees. You could totally use that water park until probably deep into November, legitimately, and not have a problem. But for financial reasons, they choose to not do that. I'm excited about our new vehicles showing up sometime. Electric vehicles showing up maybe 3 weeks if I get lucky. I don't know. But I think it'll definitely open up a whole new world of possibilities. Should be fun. I'm like slamming this coffee. It's an extra large. I'm slamming it so I can, practice going backwards. I'm gonna be bouncing off the walls pretty soon. Well, I got a few people that messaged me asking if we were okay from Hurricane Michael. And it's mostly people from overseas, and they just probably see, Florida hurricane, and they associate me in the danger zone. Luckily, Florida is really, really long. It's a very long state, and that hurricane hit a good 300 miles north of us, something like that. So, but man, that was some scary stuff. We are very late into hurricane season, and to have that hurricane spin up and be as strong as it was, basically out of nowhere, it went from like just a disturbance to a category 4 in the span of a few days. That's some scary stuff, man. And of course, everybody saw the images of what it did. A lot of that damage looked like tornado damage, not hurricane damage. Hurricanes are not fun. Okay, time for practice. comes back pretty quick. I'm not sure what else is big news right now in the electric unicycle world besides the KingSong 18XL, which is going to be coming around. Haven't heard much. Guess I'll have to take a look on the forums before the broadcast tomorrow night. Actively working on construction of another artificial turf field. That's number 3. I think they might be doing 4 of them up front. It must be quite an intricate process because I know that they have to crown the field. You know, it has to have a crown on it so water doesn't accumulate on it. So I would imagine it's a very precision grading that's going on right there. Much more difficult than you would imagine. And this is something new since I've been here last. Looks like they're pouring the forms for something, maybe new lights, I don't know. Those are awful big forms, so I assume they're going to support something rather large. A whole bunch of them. When I was learning to go backwards, this was one of the big spots I did a lot of practice. Oh, when I last checked, this morning I think, my channel was only 2,000, 3,000 views away from 3 million. So hopefully by the end of the weekend I'll get there. It's exciting stuff. I thought it opened up for Thanksgiving too. I'm surprised. It's very weird. There's an Kia Soul, and now I've seen passed multiple times here, and it's going over the same spots. The driver, for some reason, just like kind of slowly circling. I'm kind of curious what's going on. Sort of weird. Man, I hope North Collier isn't turning into Sugden, you know, where people are cruising for some adult encounters. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Or a drug deal. Yeah, he drove down into this area here once when I came through here, and he's back in here again. He or she. I haven't really gotten a good look at the driver yet, but I plan to get one. All right, we're going to be going right past him. Get a good look. I don't know, could be answering a Craigslist ad, who knows? Weird. Yeah, freaking weird, man. They just turned into the kids museum parking lot here. I bet they're going to do another loop. Not sure what's going on, but I feel pretty safe in saying it's something that could be a little bit shady. They just came out the other side. There they are. Weird. Very weird, man. It's like a buzzard circling. I mean, the only legitimate thing I could think of that could be going on there is maybe, and I didn't get a good look at the driver, but maybe it's a kid learning to drive, maybe? I didn't notice if there was someone in the passenger seat or not. I mean, I guess that's a one above the table explanation, but other than that, I mean, why do you just keep circling around a public park? Unless you're on an electric unicycle, of course, then you're okay. Okay, now they're stopped in the roundabout. Now there's a guy in the seat. You know what it could be? I wonder if they're doing freaking Pokemon Go. Does anybody still play that game? Because the guy was looking down at his phone. So maybe that's it. They're playing Pokemon Go. So let's leave it at that. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Alright, so that wraps up my Mten3 ride. Just feeling my tire. Well, I guess it's not too low. It was a lot of fun. It's been too long since I've been out on it. It's a great little wheel. If you can only have 2 EUCs, an Mten3 should be one of those 2, in my opinion. So if you found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to tune in for Marty and Duff's EUC live stream show tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And that's all I got for you for now. Until next time, definitely now. Walking Dead game like Pokemon Go. Not for me. You just never know where I'm going to draw the line, but Pokemon Go was a line that I drew. It just seems so ridiculous.